Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Young Justice, Season 2, Episode 10, called Before the Dawn, I want to say. If I don't get the title right, it's on the top, so don't worry about it. It's just that usually I have a piece of paper that says the title, but I forgot to write it down. But I'm pretty sure it's called Before the Dawn. But, again, whatever the title says, it's what the episode's called. But, this episode did not air on Cartoon Network yet. It was supposed to air last Saturday, and I wasn't planning on doing a review with this episode, but, you know, I found out on Saturday that it didn't air, so, like, what's going on here? So, I have another video talking about my thoughts on what Cartoon Network did. It's called Young Justice United, or Young Justice Fans Unite, so, go check that out if you want my thoughts about that. I don't want to, you know, rant on that again, but just know that the episode didn't air and is not going to air until January, and the show's on another hiatus. Again, I'll describe my thoughts in my Young Justice Fans United video, which has been up for a couple of days now. But let's talk about this episode. I watched this on YouTube because there's like DC Nation something on YouTube, and that's where everyone saw the episode, either that or on iTunes, and a lot of people ended up watching the episode because iTunes let it out early because they didn't know that DC Nation didn't air it. But with this episode, it's really gets right into the action. The Young Justice team goes out and tries to get their teammates that have been captured. Blue Beetle, who just got captured in this episode, but in the beginning of this episode, he gets captured, so they're getting Blue Beetle, Beast Boy, Impulse, and Lagoon Boy. So they're going on this mission. They bring Batgirl, you know, Tim Drake, you know, Nightwing actually goes on this one, Bumblebee, and Miss Martian, Superboy, Wonder Girl. So we got, you know, some really great characters that go and try to do this mission. And now Miss Martian is getting she finds Aqualad. You know, she's getting a little upset because she knows Aqualad killed her best friend, you know, Artemis, or at least she thinks that. So she does her little mind thing that she usually does, that Superboy says, you know, that's wrong to do. And she does that in this episode, and, you know, Aqualad's all staring blank. We don't know exactly what happened to him because we haven't heard him talk in this episode. So we don't know if he's, you know, drooling at the mouth like everyone else that she's done this to, or, you know, just wasn't affected as much. But my guess is that he's drooling at the mouth. And now that Miss Martia's probably just learned, you know, is that maybe Superboy's right. Maybe this isn't the right thing, and I had to go through a situation like this, hurting one of my friends that I thought was my enemy, but found out really wasn't. Because when she does this, you know, mind drooling at the mouth thing, she finds out their memories and goes in deep to their brain. And that's when she finds out, okay, Aqualad actually is not betraying us, and Artemis is alive. And, like, when she finds these stuff out, she's like, oh shit, but what did I do to Aqualad? He never did anything wrong, but I hurt him. And we don't know, again, we don't know exactly what happened to Aqualad in this episode, but, you know, Miss Martian is obviously still very upset about it, because, like, you see her very upset throughout this episode that she did this. She's not concentrating on stuff. Like, you know she's very upset. I'm trying to think of, that was a big main part, in my opinion, that happened in this episode. Especially, there was a cliffhanger that I thought wasn't as important. I feel like one thing that's really important with this season is not so much the invasion. That's not the story I've been dedicated to and the mystery I've been dedicated to, but really the character developments and what happened to the characters through that 5-year gap. That's the story I've been dedicated to. So the cliffhanger they kind of have is like, oh, well, the aliens, you know, are going to Earth peacefully, even though they're just trying to take over Earth and be bad to Earth and be villains to Earth. But they're just trying to show the Justice League is wrong and we'll make peace, but really we have an alternative motive. And that's very smart, and that's what our cliffhanger is. But like I said, that wasn't a humongous cliffhanger for me. I just felt like, oh, okay. At least we're developing this plot a little, because I feel like the aliens just not as dedicated to that storyline. Even though it's Young Justice Invasion, I just feel like the 5-year gap is more important. And seeing how these characters change and just seeing how these characters interact in different situations. And that's why I felt like the Miss Martian scene in this episode was a lot more powerful than the cliffhanger scene that was supposed to be very powerful. Also, we get to see Stephanie Brown in this episode, which is her first ever appearance in a TV show, and, you know, any movies or TV shows, video games. This is her first appearance that is not in a comic book, so I thought that was cool. I mean, she didn't have that many lines or anything, but it's just kind of cool that she appeared. Think about it. Barbara Gordon didn't have many lines in the first season, but she ended up becoming Batgirl in the second. So maybe we'll get to see Stephanie Brown do something. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome to see her become a spoiler or something. I also like seeing Tim and Barbara just not in their costumes and just kind of work together. I love that. I love seeing the Bat family kind of work together, and seeing Barbara and Dick kind of interact. That was personally one of my favorite highlights of this episode, was seeing them fight. Superboy wasn't in it that much. I'm trying to think, because I saw this a little bit earlier today, so I'm trying to think throughout the episode if there's any more highlights that really happened. I think, again, the biggest part was the Miss Martian one, and of course there's just little tidbits that kind of happen that you really like. I like seeing, with the Miss Martian scene, that we get to see Artemis say, Miss Martian finally realizes that that's Artemis, because I guess if you find out the secret, you get to see Artemis and not, you know, the girl she's pretending to be with the necklace. So I thought that was a really just powerful thing also throughout that scene. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. This was more of just a very action-packed episode where a lot of things happen with different characters. We find out that Blue Beetle is going to be a villain in the future if he doesn't take hold of his suit. That's another big, powerful thing. And is that why Impulse is friends with Blue Beetle? Or is it just, oh, they're coincidentally friends, but Impulse, you know, maybe Impulse knew that they were going to become friends and were friends in the future, but Impulse also knew that he was going to become this big bad villain in the future. So I think that's interesting to see how their friendship kind of plays a role. That was something else that happened in this episode, because the Black Beetle played you know, the villain in this episode. So this episode was good. I really enjoyed it. Again, only the last part in, I felt like maybe it should have been a little bit bigger. But other than that, I really liked this episode. It had Stephanie Brown, it had, you know, character development, it had Artemis and Aqualad and their whole story that we haven't been able to see that much. It just had a great group of people, great, you know, I like this team a lot better than other group team-ups. I liked who they picked for this team-up to get these characters, and, you know, Lagoon Boy and Beast Boy and Impulse, to get these characters back to the team and not captured. I like that. We also get to see Static in this episode, which is cool. We don't get to see him use his powers, but this is his first appearance. And one problem I might have with it, his character, is that, you know, his big thing is that, oh, he's a Bang Baby, and that's kind of his story. But it seems like they're going to go like the meta route for him, which I don't know if I love, because I feel like that's really not his character. So I don't know what to think about Static. But I am a big Static Shock fan, at least of the TV show. So I hope they do go kind of Bang Baby route or do something like that. But what I've seen from this episode, I don't think they will, but maybe it'll be good. That's also another thing that was in this episode that I kind of forgot about, because Static wasn't in a lot, but it shows that he is going to be in it. And that should play an interesting role. Yeah, so that's my review for Young Justice, and hopefully I can do a review for Young Justice again. Hopefully this hiatus ends, you know, sooner than later. I really hope this January thing doesn't stick, and maybe they're like, oh wait, let's listen to the fans, maybe we shouldn't do this January thing. So that could be kind of cool, you know, maybe listen to us. But hopefully I could do a Young Justice review sooner than later, like I said. And I give this episode 4.5. I thought it was really good, and wish it actually aired on TV. So tell me your thoughts on the episode, if you got to see it or not, or go on YouTube, search, you know, the episode title and you'll get it, or just go on iTunes and buy the episode if you like doing that also. So, you know, go check out the episode, tell me your thoughts. This is Comic Uno. See you guys.